Voila, Debbie Rigaud. When I was little, my great aunt, my tante, used to feed me breakfast. That was when she had a straight back. So long ago, I wasn't wearing glasses yet, if you can imagine. I must have been about 3. My parents were at work, my big sister at school, so it was just my tante and me. As she dipped my bread in coffee, I got distracted by tiny particles floating in the beam of light entering the window above the kitchen sink. My tante, ever vigilant of my feelings, asked what I was staring at. The peanut butter lathered bread I had been chewing stalled in the crook of my cheek. I pointed to the snowfall of particles. It seemed like the most magical thing I'd ever seen. My tante smiled. Magical, no? She asked, echoing my thoughts. Things are always floating around us, but just like that sunbeam, it takes the light in our hearts to see magic that is invisible to most people. From then on, wherever I went, I searched for magic around me. Voila, my tante would say to alert me to the tiny, everyday miracles in progress. It was our secret. I liked it better back when Tara and Tina were ignorant. Ever since the earthquake, this office's 2 medical assistants, or as my tante playfully refers to them, the lookalikes, think they know everything about me. It's only been 5 minutes since my sister Anne dropped us off here, yet I'm already annoyed. A sympathetic expression stretches the corners of Tara's eyes as she waits for my reply. She's taller and older than her sister. Yep, I'm 14 now. I nod, squeezing the last bit of polite from my reserves. And yes, both my parents are from Haiti. Oh, you see, Titi. Tara nudges her sister with the back of her hand. I told you. I shrug. People have assumed this before, that I'm only half Haitian, or at least those who can't understand how a person with longer hair or lighter skin could come from Haiti. My great aunt is positioning her metal cane below her seat as she settles into her chair, getting acquainted with its contours in preparation for the long wait before her name is finally called. The doctor's office is filling up quickly. Over the past few years, as my tante's painfully curved back has pulled her closer to the earth, the matching scrub sister started jumping her nearer to the top of the waiting list. But it's still going to take time. Lots of it. Go sit down, baby, Tara says, taking pity on me. We'll call your auntie's name when the doctor is ready. I harumph to myself on my way to the empty seat next to my tante. When the doctor is ready. I could bet any money he isn't even in. It never fails. Halfway through our wait, the top of the good doctor's ample-sized dome can be seen bobbing past the driveway facing window. He thinks he's sneaking in, but his conspicuously big head always gives him away. Maybe it's because he serves the elderly. Or perhaps he's really Superman in disguise, and there's always one too many emergencies going on at the local hospital. Whatever his story, Dr. Bighead's rarely in his office. Patients crowd the first floor of the converted old-time mansion that's rotting in the east ward of our fair city, waiting. The one TV hanging precariously high in the corner is the waiting room's only timekeeper. Each program's theme song chimes the passing of yet another 30 minutes. From daytime talk shows to the evening news, they wait. Judge Judy's on. The large woman spread out over 2 chairs mutters to no one in particular. Been here since Good Morning America. My tante's done her share of waiting. She's been their patient, right word for sure, for over a decade. Some of my cousins are physicians, and I've heard them asking my tante on more than one occasion to switch doctors. The old lady is too loyal to Dr. Bighead. She thinks he can do no wrong, but from where I sit, all he does is prescribe her more and more horse pills and make her wait hours to be seen. My tante doesn't speak English, so one of us waits with her. That is until my older sister Anne learned to drive. The past few times we've dropped my tante off and popped in 5 hours later in time to translate her consultation. Not today, though. Anne dropped us both off, promising to be back minutes after we call her. I couldn't go home with her today because she said she had to go straight to a meeting. Yeah, right. Must be a really cute study group this time. Saldi, my tante asks in Creole when I reach her. She wants to know what all the discussion with the lookalikes was about. Rien, I respond respectfully, i.e. in French, as I was raised to do when addressing an adult. I protect my tante from the truth. It would hurt her to find out that after all these years, the lookalikes have no clue that she is Haitian. Besides, my tante thinks everyone adores her. And what's not to love? Most folks see this charming old lady with a peaceful gaze and a curved back, and they have to restrain themselves from crouching down to hug her. My tante likes to flash her toothy smile and give away the only English offerings in her cherished possession. Thank you, she answers, no matter what people say. Plus, my tante treats Dr. Bighead's office like a nightclub. She dresses to the nines for her monthly appointments. Besides church, it's the only time she gets to go out these days. Today, her flowery peach dress matches her hat, and she pulls an ornately embroidered handkerchief from her clutch purse. Their lookalikes probably wanted to know where I've been, she says proudly, patting her forehead with the hanky. They haven't seen me in a while. Everybody misses you when you're not around, I said. She knows I'm teasing. That's because they like how they feel about themselves when they see me, she says with that wisecracking tone in her voice. Vraiment? I ask, a bit surprised that she's in the mood to talk. My tante is obviously glad for my company, which makes me feel bad about sulking. Usually in public, she likes to keep the appearance of being a quiet, sweet old lady, not the hilarious, observant woman I enjoy being around. Really? And why is that? One look at my wrinkles and they're excited they're not as shriveled up as me. We tumble into a silent giggle, me shaking my head no, and my tante gesturing oui. But as messed up as it sounds, my tante is probably right. Most people don't recognize the gems in front of them. And to me, my tante is the most precious kind. That's not true, my tante, I say, and rub her forearm, enjoying the easy movement of her loose chocolate skin. You're a beautiful queen. Ah, Simone. My tante sings out my name in a delight that reveals she knew what I was thinking. Hey, Simone! This time my name rings out from a deeper voice. Simone Thibodeau? The first thing that catches my eye is his t-shirt. It's blue like his jeans, but with bright orange letters that grab me. It reads, Care, van. And under that, transporting seniors to caregivers. The brain works superhero fast. Quicker than an eye blink, I recognize the name of the volunteer group kids at my school sign up for, in a frenzy to reach their monthly community service quota. Another millisecond later, my eyes dart up to the shirt wearer's face. What's Lewis Milton doing way over in this part of town? He's from the West Ward. You're a volunteer here too? He asks. No, I mutter, suddenly self-conscious. I clutch my phone. Why did Anne have to dump me here today? Oh, he says, and I can see he understands. You're from the East Ward. Before I can busy myself with a fake text, he continues. Nice running into you, though. I recognize that sympathetic look. I've seen it every time I have to turn down my friends because my parents won't let me go all the way to the West Ward at night. I hate that he feels sorry for me. Louis, help me out here, will you? A girl calls from the front door. Oh, great. It's Waverly Weber from my history class. She's struggling to get an elderly man's wheelchair through the narrow entrance. Excuse me, Louis says to me before jogging over and pinning the heavy door wide open. Once Waverly and her senior are safely inside, Louis slips out. Got you here in one piece, Mr. P, Waverly announces proudly. Perhaps it's the piercing voice or the shift in the air brought on by Waverly's mere presence. But my tante opens her heavy eyes wide and looks my classmate up and down. Sally, you? My tante sings out under her breath, basically asking WTF, minus the F in Creole. Funny how my tante picks up in Waverly what I do. The girl's actually never been mean to me or anyone else I know. It's just that her me first vibe can be off-putting. This office never looked terribly low budget to me before. But now, seeing Waverly here, her velvet red ballet flats stepping on aged, peeling linoleum floors, it's hard not to view things through her eyes. I suddenly feel exposed, as if Waverly just walked in on me getting my hair braided. Good thing she doesn't notice me. Waverly's busying herself to our left, rearranging chairs to make room for her elderly companion's wheelchair. As she jams it into a narrow spot, the rush of the empty row of chairs slams my tante's seat into mine. My tante reacts quietly. Oh. Mr. P checks his neck for whiplash. There you go, Waverly tells him, smiling. She wipes her palms against each other and reports to the front desk in 3 quick strides. I've brought Charles Pemberton for his 3 o'clock appointment. If only Waverly knew that to Dr. Bighead, 3 p.m. means 7 or 8 p.m. Oh, and here's a list of medications that Mr. P is currently taking, she says, not missing a beat. Okay, baby, Tina, the younger lookalike, says, taking the sheet from Waverly. When the doctor comes in, we'll give this list to him. The astonished look that takes hold of Waverly's face is priceless. You mean he isn't here yet? My tante pauses her humming to give a quiet chuckle. He'll be here soon enough, Tina says dismissively before heading toward the break room. Perplexed, Waverly stops short of scratching her head when she spots me. What are you doing here, Simone? Hey, Waverly. I don't answer her question. This is my second chance to introduce my tante, but I don't take it. I feel bad about that, but my embarrassment at being seen in the ghetto doctor's office outweighs the guilt. But Waverly can't be shaken off the trail that easily. Is this your grandmother? She asks. Then to my tante, hello, I'm Waverly. I go to school with your granddaughter. Thank you. My tante smiles politely. She speaks Haitian, Waverly asks, obviously tickled by my tante's accent. Creole, I correct her, and French. Waverly finally asks her burning question. So, you're here even though you don't get any school credit for it? I nod. I think they have new patient forms for the man you came in with, I say, counting on the fact that Waverly hates to miss a step. It works. Her lips form an O and she pads over to grab a clipboard. Louis comes back, escorting a woman who walks with a cane. He looks so gentlemanly with his elbow extended for her to hold. A celebrated football player at school, Louis is taller and bigger than the average guy his age, so I'm mesmerized by how much he outsizes his companion. The elderly woman lets go of Louis's arm and excitedly waves at my tante. Kumawiye! Oh, ma tante sits up as best she can. Madame Bertrand Kumawiye! Louis seems touched by the woman's gleeful greetings. His round face lights up like a stadium scoreboard at one of his home games. Despite his bulk, Louis is delicate with Madame Bertrand as he helps her into the seat next to Ma Tante's. I get up to kiss Ma Tante's friend on the cheek. Even though I've never met her, doing so is customary. I stay standing. Here's my chance to redeem myself. Oh, Louis, this is my great aunt, Ma Tante, I say. Louis respectfully takes off his baseball cap and shakes Ma Tante's hand. He doesn't know about the cheek kiss custom, so he gets a pass. Gentil petit garçon. Ma tante is impressed with him. Eh, Madame Bertrand accepts the compliment as if Louis is her grandson. He would make a nice friend for my Simone. Ma tante continues in Creole. I think so too, replies Madame Bertrand. It's cute how they still glances at each other, no? I can't hide my surprise, and Louis takes notice. What are they saying? He asks me. I pause. Just that you're a well-mannered young man. Did he just ask you on a date, Simone? Ma tante is really trying to mess with me now. I'm going to have to separate you two, I answer sassy in Creole. The women giggle over Louis's confusion. I think they're saying more than that, he says, laughing and scanning all of our faces for clues. Come on, Simone, you're holding back. Simone, are you translating for Louis? Waverly's finished Mr. P's paperwork and is drawn in by our laughter. Something like that, I answer, still blushing. Waverly has an epiphany. You can totally get credit for translating for Care A. Van, she says earnestly. Some Haitian seniors in the program need translators. You know what? That could be cool. That would be cool, I say. I'll introduce you to the program director and you can get started right away, Waverly offers. Funny that her persistence feels a lot more bearable when it benefits me. April Johnson, Tara calls a patient to the back. Finally. The large woman using 2 seats gets up, sighs heavily, and waddles to the exam room. Immediately, Mr. P rises effortlessly from the wheelchair and strides to nab the now vacant best seat in the house for TV viewing. We all look on in stunned silence. I told that child I ain't need to be wheeled in, Mr. P grumbles. Ma tante and I look at each other and burst out laughing. Louis, Madame Bertrand, and eventually even Waverly and Mr. P cackle heartily with us. Voila! Ma tante winks at me. I wink back.